release from in the morning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition, your post-E3 edition of Breaking Badger News. I am your host, as always, the jaundice-skinned Simpsons-kin, Max Darrett, and joining me for the first time on this program is the Silverback Simian, Scott.
Ahoy, hoy.
What's happening, man? Did you enjoy E3 this year?
You know what? I actually did. I really enjoyed E3 this year. I thought, aside from Bethesda and Nintendo being pretty weak, the other presentations were pretty solid. The Xbox presentation was actually pretty excellent, and it was no nonsense and just showed us the games. Just kept all the BS to a minimum. It's just like, here's a whole bunch of fucking games. So yeah, it's cool, man. It was really good.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Like, they definitely have done what they should have done, which is just focus on the games pretty much throughout all the conferences, with the exception of Bethesda. I do have one or two things to, just to nitpick, but we're not really here to talk about that today. Right. But speaking of the Xbox conference, we're here to talk about a particular Segway City. We're here to talk about a particular game that was announced during the Xbox conference a couple days ago. It sort of created a bit of controversy online that I thought might be interesting to bring to you guys. So, when I first saw this game, it's called The Last Night. It's being developed by, what is it, Ross?
Raw Fury is publishing it, but Tim Saray is the dev behind it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, when you look at this game, the art style of it just captures your attention immediately. It's almost like something out of Blade Runner, but it's all pixelated. Now, that's sort of odd to say, if it's beautiful art style, why is it pixelated? Because those two things don't go hand in hand. But it's something that you have to see to believe. And immediately after I saw it, I just thought to myself, oh my god, I got to try this thing out. And after the press conference, I decided to go online a few hours later just to look up more information about the game, and I started to see that there was a burgeoning controversy going on online. So here's the deal. There's a woman out there that's got an eye, and many other people on the internet like to refer to as literally who, although her real name, of course, is Zoe Quinn.
Oh, that's not her real name. Her real name is Van Valkenburg, but yeah. if we want to be real to the point about this, yes.
So what happened was, apparently, Tim Saray, the lead developer behind The Last Night, made some tweets back in the day. Oh God, this is like how every story in the news starts nowadays. It made some tweets way back in the day, particularly in 2014, back when the beginnings of GamerGate happened. Now, for those of you who don't know who GamerGate is and why the hell are you watching this, but just for a basic summary, what happened back in 2014, there were some allegations of improper conduct and a lack of ethical reporting in games journalism. Although there were some people out there that just said that that was a farce, that GamerGate was actually about just trying to harass women out of the games industry. There's your little primer. But what happened in regards to this particular story is that Tim Saray put out some tweets way back then that supposedly showed support for GamerGate. Now, I'll read you these tweets for you. One came out in July 7th of 2014. He said, "I'm against feminism because it's getting more and more skewed. I am for egalitarianism. I don't care, boy, girl, alien." And then a second tweet from September 11th of 2014. "The GamerGate people are for journalistic integrity, honest debate, transparency, inclusiveness, and egalitarianism." Now, these are two of the tweets, despite the content of them, people are just saying that, oh my god, he was associated with GamerGate. And those who think that GamerGate was purely about trying to make the lives of certain women hell, particularly that of the aforementioned Zoe Quinn, they're currently trying to ruin the developer. So, Scott,
wait, are you telling me that somebody who purports to be the head of an anti-bullying campaign on the internet, Khan, as a matter of fact, if we want to be very specific, Crash Override Network, is now bullying somebody on the internet? Because I don't know if I can believe this, Max. This is a tough pill to swallow, my friend.
Yeah, it's almost unbelievable considering, there's so much evidence to dispute everything that this woman says that she's still being given any sense of credibility. Yeah. Now, what's interesting about this is even though back in the day, apparently this game, The Last Night, the whole purpose of it was to try and demonstrate a dystopian society where far leftist progressivism got out of control. Apparently, in the last 3 years, he's turned away from making that the core focus of the game, although apparently the fictional setting of the game, and I'm quoting him here, the developer that is, "The fictional setting of the game does challenge techno-social progress as a whole, but certainly not trying to promote regressive ideas." So it might not necessarily have a big focus on, a dystopia where feminism is taken over, but it's still sort of
it's more of a vague
dystopian
idea
ideas
than it is a specific thing.
Now, in respect to Zoe Quinn, despite all this information of Tim Soray trying to make sure that, nothing gets out of control, making sure that he's still able to ensure that he'll be paid for all the work that he's done, Zoe Quinn has decided to, of course, try to harass this guy for having a different opinion. And I'll read out her particular tweets for you.
Yeah.
Maker of cyberpunk indie game totally cool with trying to ruin the life of cyberpunk game developer. When the fuck did you ever make a cyberpunk game?
Hey, Max, to be fair, she has an animal tracking tag implanted in her hand, so she's totally cyberpunk, dude.
Whoa. Okay, I actually read that somewhere, and I thought somebody was making a joke. Is that actually true?
That is legit. She was very proud. She's like, oh, look, I'm a transhumanist. I've got a chip inside my hand. That's totally legit. That's straight up legit, man. No jokes.
It's
stranger than fiction. I know.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on. I can't think about that too much. Right. So just FYI, here's another one. Just FYI, I am 100% for never letting it go when a developer participated in GamerGate, and then in brackets she says, unless someone actually made amends, but no one has. And then Notch, God bless Notch. If you don't know who Notch is, he's the guy who created Minecraft.
All hail Marcus Pearson.
All hail Marcus Pearson, God bless. He responded to this particular tweet with the following statement. Quote, what a fucking cunt. End quote. Although he didn't know it was her originally because Quinn keeps changing her name on Twitter. And then he sort of backtracked and he still said that she was acting like a giant asshole. And we pretty much agree, right, Scott?
Marcus cuts right to the fat of it. He wastes no time, just gets right to not to the fat, the bone, excuse me. Cuts right to the bone. Gets right to the juicy part, to the marrow, to the inner workings of what's going on, because Zoe Quinn is a fucking dumb cunt. I mean, time and time again, she has shown herself to be a liar and a dumb cunt. I mean, I don't know what else to really say about that. I can't really add much more to it. It's very concise and to the point.
God, it's just, she's a terrible I don't understand how this woman, she thinks she can get away with trying to say that she's a victim of reckless abuse by the internet and by her ex-boyfriend, when there's so much information and evidence out there to suggest that she has done exactly the same thing to other people and worse.
Well, both when Max, you have to remember that information and things like that, facts are a tool of the patriarchy. And they are keeping good women like Zoe Quinn down with the truth. I mean, get the boot of truth off of Zoe's neck already. Gosh,
because if this whole thing never happened, she would have gone on to create these beautiful, vibrant worlds like that of the last night. Because when you go from a Twine game, Depression Quest, the immediate follow-up to that is something like The Last Night.
Well, for those that don't know, Zoe Quinn is a developer in so much as she wrote a choose-your-own-adventure book on the internet. Mm-hmm. That's the extent of her game development. Well, hold on. No, to be fair, she's currently working on a game with famed author Chuck Tingle, whose works we had formerly enjoyed on the Badgers. But she's making a quote-unquote game that's basically, it's, what is it? What do they call it? Where it's like live-action cutscenes all put together. It's, I forget what the fuck it's called. I forget what the term is. But she's working on this thing, and let me tell you, it looks like a fucking masterpiece. It's got Alex Tramp Stamp's lift shits fucking running around in a horse unicorn mask and a fucking wife beater and some fucking, booty shorts. So it's going to be good. I mean, if Alex Lifshitz is involved, I mean, come on, dude, that's stamp of quality. The Tramp stamp of quality, as a matter of fact.
Alex Lifshitz, God, isn't that the guy that was at a conference and he literally broke it?
He couldn't break the game in half, and he's sitting there tweaking hard for 3 minutes trying to get it to break.
It's a fucking disc, you fucking half-wit. It's not that hard to break. Yeah, so anyways, the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is to go out and buy The Last Night when it comes out, because, there's two purposes to that. One, it looks like a really fun, interesting game, and it looks like a very interesting take on just trying to tell a story through the video game medium. But also, you can piss Zoe Quinn off.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the there's a few things that I wanted to talk about real quickly here. Is that when you look at what happened with this, the publisher Raw Fury actually sent out a twit longer. Yeah. And the most disturbing point here, I think, is when you read this, and this is like the fourth paragraph down in it. They say the wording of his statements in relation to Tim Surrey's, walk back and his tweets and stuff. The wording of his statements towards feminism 2014 was poor, and his buying into GamerGate as a movement on the notion that it represented gamers against journalism was naive. But in the same year, he also cheered for women in gaming. So that gives you a little bit of insight to where Raw Fury is. And if you read the whole statement, they did a twit longer about it. You can check it out on their Twitter. It doesn't really get much better when you read the rest of it, honestly. And it's kind of, oh man, it's kind of bothersome when you see stuff like this, It's like people can't ever just take a stand and be like, oh, he said that. It's fine. It's okay because he's a person and he's allowed to have his own ideas. Mm-hmm. So, because we can't have that in this day and age, thanks to people like Zoe Quinn and Maya Kramer, who's calling for fucking boycotts against people doing wrongthink. So yeah, this is fucking disgusting. It's one thing to have ideas about how you think things should operate, but when you actively try to no platform people and you actively try to push people out of an industry, that doesn't really speak to me of diversity and inclusion, which is generally what they purport their message to be. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, people like us, we acknowledge that people like Joss Whedon, when it comes to their politics, we think they're absolutely disgusting. Aside from that, though, he knows how to create some incredibly profound entertainment. Whether you're talking about his comic book movies, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly, they're all fantastic. And we can he's
separate
a very competent director, for sure. He's a very competent creator. And I think he's an asshole. Yeah, exactly. I think he's an asshole, but I don't hold that against him. I still enjoy the things that he's made because I'm not a fucking single-minded ideological zealot like these morons are, like Zoe Quinn.
Although, I will be just a momentary hypocrite and say, if you buy anything from Konami after what happened back in 2015, then you and I are going to have some words. Anyways, that'll do it for now. That'll do it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you buy this game when it comes out, and make sure to look up some of the trailers. Well, the trailer from E3 that came out a couple days ago, because it looks absolutely gorgeous, especially if you're a fan of old 80s sci-fi like the aforementioned Blade Runner. Well, make sure to obviously, if any new information comes out about this in the next couple days or in the next few weeks, that we'll make sure to present that information to you. So make sure you keep your ear to Honey Badger Radio. Make sure you like this video. Make sure to comment on this story if you have any particular agreements or disagreements that you'd like to share. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. So once again, I'd like to thank Scott for joining me on this show today. And
yes, sir.
Until next time, have a lovely, lovely week. Bye-bye.